Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Daily D. Go down below and subscribe to get the most up-to-date videos that I produce about business, personal development, and most importantly, freedom. So today's topic is the word appointment. Appointment is a time set for something. Now, we've all lived on appointments pretty much all our lives, and maybe you don't think about it, but an appointment can really be anything that is scheduled. So, for an example, as children, we were scheduled to go to school, right? That's an appointment. Every day we had an appointment from, let's say, 8 to 3. As college, if you go to college or you go to a school at any time, there's a class from 9 to 11. If you want to go to the doctor, they say you have to be here at this time, right? From 10 a.m. to whenever, right? There's so many appointments in our lives. Even work is an appointment, if you will. If you treat it like an appointment, then you have to show up to it, right? That's what an appointment does. It requires you to show up. Well, think about all the appointments in your life that you've had to show up to all these years. Think about how school has made you show up, how work has made you show up, how the doctor's made you show up, your attorney or the court for some people. There's been times in your life where you had to show up. Now think about all those people who were in charge of your schedule. Think about the principals, think about the teachers, think about the doctors, the attorneys, the judges, the mechanics, the whatever. Let's just go on, right? We can go on from here. But how many times have you been put in a position where you were told when to be somewhere and for how long in some cases? Well, if you're like me, we've gone through that all our lives. So I share this with you for this concept of an appointment is really something that we have to take and really reflect on. Now, I don't want you to reflect on the fact that you had to do something. I want you to reflect on the fact that other people have put you in a position to control your schedule, your appointments. See, many of us will live by their time, by their schedule. The doctor says you need to be here today at this time. Your work says you need to be here at this time. So why aren't we committed to making the same schedule or appointment for the things that we want in life? You see, if you, for an example, have an appointment tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the doctor, most of us will put a reminder on our phone or put something on our calendar just so we don't forget, right? We'll write it down somewhere. Even if it's a physical calendar, we write it down, especially if it's something that's in advance, like a week or 2 or 3, because we forget. We're just forgetful people, unless you have a great memory, which some people do. But what if you had 13 appointments in a week? Would you remember? No, you'd have to eventually write it down. So think about how many times somebody's told you where to be and what to do, but how many times have you actually done it for yourself? You see, I don't believe we should let other people control our lives. I believe that it's our own responsibility. Our lives are our own lives. They're under control. Now, I'm not saying that we can't live by somebody else's schedule or have an appointment set for us. That's always going to happen. But why aren't we putting things on the calendar, if you will, for the appointments of life? Right? How many of us need to do something today that we know is important to us? Like, for an example, for a long time, I knew I needed to get my finances in order. This is years back, right? I knew it had to. Now, what do I mean by I knew I needed to get my finances in order is, sometimes you just got to add up all your bills and you got to see exactly what it is and who you owe. And then you need to make a plan to get out of debt if you have debt, or make a plan to repay if you just want to repay faster so you don't pay interest. Or you just need to know these things, right? You should always be aware of where you are financially. It's the only way, it's the real way to keep score, right? Just like the scale tells us how we keep score, so does our debt and our bank account. So every month, shouldn't you review what you spent? Shouldn't you look at your credit card or your bank statement just to make sure that nothing extra was charged? Shouldn't you do that? Well, if you know these are things that you should do, and I knew I needed to do them, how come it was so hard for me to do them? Well, really, the honest truth is because I didn't put it on my calendar. I didn't schedule it. I didn't create an appointment, if you will. And because I didn't create an appointment, I just left it to chance. Whenever I got to it, I got to it. Whenever I felt like it, I would do it. But if you put something as an appointment on your calendar today, if you're either your real physical calendar or your electronic calendar or whatever, however you make a note of it, don't you think you would get to it? Don't you think you eventually would do it? If you don't get to it today, for an example, whatever it is, why don't you just reschedule for tomorrow? Move it over on your calendar. You see, the most important things in life we put off and off and off and off and off. Working out, going to the grocery store. I mean, everybody knows that we have to do something today. Why aren't we putting it as an appointment in our lives? We'd much rather let everyone else tell us what to do except for ourselves. Don't you think that's wrong? Don't you think that that would be an incorrect way to live? And this isn't me telling you that you're living wrong. It's me telling you that don't you feel obligated to tell yourself what to do? Shouldn't you be the one that looks in the mirror and says, this is where you need to be today? This is what you need to do today? Or should you look into the mirror and it's actually a clear glass window and somebody else is on the other side saying, hey, I need you to be here. I need you to do this. Get this done. You see, we're all going to live by that way some days, right? Some days people are going to tell us what to do. Usually it's a customer, right? It could be our boss. It could be somebody in our lives that tell us what to do. But at the end of the day, the most important appointment is the one that you need to show up for yourself to. And I would encourage you today to get on your own calendar, if you will, and put the things you've been putting off: your finances, your health, your wealth, your career, your training, the things that really can move the needle, if you will, in the direction that would make you a successful, healthy, wealthy, free person. Put you today in front of everything else. Put an appointment in front of your appointment, rather, in front of everything else. Do not, and I repeat, do not continue to allow others to dictate your life. You know, and if you're thinking, well, David, I can't do that because I have a 9 to 5. Well, there's before 9 and there's after 5. The day doesn't end when work ends, guys. The day ends when you make that decision. You know, how many of you make an appointment for bed? How many of you make an appointment for working out? Now, I'm not saying I don't do those things, because some days I don't either. But how much more in life could I receive if I were just to make it about my needs, my commitments? And if you're saying other people have your commitments in mind every day, if you have children, for an example, or significant other, then put them on your calendar. Put them in an appointment slot. We're going to do your homework from this time to this time. We're going to have dinner from this time to this time. Because after this or before this time to this time is my time. And I need to get some stuff done today. And I could replace stuff with whatever you want. Number 1, make a commitment to you. Number 2, put something on your calendar as an appointment today for something that you need and know you must get done. And number 3, make it a point today to get it done. And if you don't, reschedule until you get it done. But I promise you, once you reschedule 1, 2, 3 times, you'll probably never do it. So you got to make sure you do it today. I encourage you to, okay? I wish you success, health, wealth, and most importantly, freedom, guys. Thanks.